Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Lacy Bay Designs. On this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful halter neck top with ruffles in front, or with the front ruffles. So stay connected as we get started. So the materials we'll be needing are tailor's chalk, ruler, scissors, tape measure, and then my fabrics. Okay, so I then folded my white fabric into two, like I'm about to cut on fold. The measurement I'll be using is bust 36 inches, waist 30 inches. So bust 36 divided by 4 will give me 9 inches plus 4-inch allowance. I added 4 inches because 2 inches will serve as that allowance, and then 2 inches will serve as sewing allowance. Okay, so as you can see, 13 inches. So from shoulder to the nipple is 11 inches, to under bust 15.5, and then to shoulder is actually 18 inches, but I added 2 inches for seam allowance or sewing allowance. Okay, so that is 20 inches. I will then repeat the same thing on the other side. From shoulder to bust point 11 inches, to under bust 15.5, and then to waist 20 inches. I will then connect the point with my ruler, like what I am doing. Okay, so the wideness of the neck is 3 by 3 inches. I'm about to point out that intervals. So nipple to nipple is 8 inches. I marked out, and then that interval is 2 inches. I did the same thing on the under bust, but on the bust point I marked 5 inches. Allowance has been added. Okay, so after marking out, I then connected the waist point to the under bust point. Afterwards, I marked out my dart or my breast cap, like what I am doing. Okay, so the dart was actually directed to the armhole area. So this is all I'll be having for the front. I'll then cut out and then cut the back as well. So I'll be cutting the same thing for my back pieces. Afterwards, I'll trim off the excess. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and mark out the neckline for the front. It's 3 by 3 inches. So I then drew the curve for the front. That's the front neckline, and then cut out. But for the back, I divided the front neckline into two. That is 1.5. But first of all, I will then indicate the zip allowance before cutting out the back neckline. So I marked out the 1.5 and then connected it to the side of the front neckline, and then cut out. Okay, so after cutting out, the next thing to do is to cut out that for the front, like what I am doing. Afterwards, we place the pieces together and then sew. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and open the front pieces, and then place the side and side onto the center front, and then sew along the dart. So this is what I have after sewing or joining the side to the center front. I'll then come down from the shoulder downwards to the neck about 2 inches. I'll mark it out. Afterwards, I will shape the shoulder line, that is 4 inches. Okay, so from the shoulder line or the shoulder point downwards, I'll mark 9 inches for the armhole. Okay, I then drew my curve for the armhole, like what I have done. Okay, so the next thing to do is to connect where I marked the 2 inches at the neckline to the underarm of the top, like what I have done. I marked from the neckline, the 2 inches I marked downwards the neckline to the underarm of the top, like this. Yes, so this is all I'll be having for the front. I'll be doing the same thing on the back. Okay, so I'll place the front onto the back and then cut the same thing on the back. So after cutting out, the next thing to do is to go ahead and then shape all round or cut off the excess fabrics. Afterwards, I'll pin the zip allowance. So after pinning, I'll then open it, making sure the right side of the back faces me, and then place the right side of the front onto it. Then I'll shape it according to the measurement. Okay, so the bust is 36 minus 3 inches. Because of the bust, I will take off 3 inches, remaining 33. So I will shape the bust measurement with bust 33. Then the waist is 30. Afterwards, I'll trim off the excess, a bit of the excess at the side and side, so that it doesn't become bulky. Okay, so I'll shape the side and side. I'll trim off about 3/4 inch, and then at the back too, I will take off like 1 inch, like what I am doing right now. I'll take it off so that it doesn't poke when I fix my zip. Great. The next thing to do is to cut off my facing. So I'll be cutting the facing to finish the neckline and then the armhole. This is for the front. After cutting out the facing, I'll be cutting the same thing for my back. Okay, so this is for the front. So this is it. I'll place it on the right side, sew, and then turn to the wrong side. So this is for the back also. So the next thing to do is to cut out the collar for the neck. Okay, so I measured around the neck and it was 18 inches. I then folded a piece of fabric and then fold it again, so I made it like 4 folds. Okay, so I cut out the neckline in a circular way, in a flare way. Yeah, so like what I did, I marked out 4.5 inches. Okay, so from the tip downwards is 2 3/4, and then to the other side 2 3/4. So I took the tape measure all round and then marked out all round. So the wideness of the collar is 2 inches. Okay, so I measured the rest of the pieces and it was 2 3/4. So I then took the tape measure all round and then marked out. Afterwards, I cut out. So after cutting out for the first one, I then folded another fabric into 4 and then cut the same thing. So I'll be using the same fabric to turn out to the right side. Okay, so this is what I have after cutting out. I then divided one into 2 and then divided the other one also into 2. I'll place the right side of each together and then sew the top and down, and then turn to the right side after sewing like this. So I'll sew all around the base and then the top part. Afterwards, I'll turn to the right side. Okay, so we're about to cut the flaws or the ruffles in front or on the chest. Okay, so this is my fabric. I'll then fold the fabric in such a way that I can get 2 circles. Okay, so this is the first fold. This is actually 1 yard of a satin fabric. The first fold, the second fold, and then the third fold. Okay, so this is the third fold. Okay, I'll actually get my 2 circles. So from the tip away, I add 14 inches, so 14.5 or so. So I took the tape measure all round and marked out 14.5. So this is what I will be doing, then cut out. Please, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do so and then press the notification bell to notify you anytime I upload any video. Great. So as you can see, after cutting out, I had 2 circles. Okay, so after getting our circle, the next thing to do is to go ahead and then overlap or fold one side of the circle like this, and then fold it again, locating the center. Okay, so this is the formula for cutting that flounce or the ruffles on the chest. After cutting out the flare, I will then fold one side of the flare onto it without letting it meet. I marked about about 7 inches, 7 to 8 inches, like 6 to 7 inches here, and then marked out the middle. So after marking out the middle, I then connected with a ruler and then join it to the tip of the circle. So I had a straight line like what I have done. That is on the shorter part. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and then cut along the line to the center or to the middle of where I marked or where it ended, like this. I'll be doing the same thing on the other pieces of circle marked. Okay, so this is what I have after cutting the 2 pieces. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then place the right side of each together and then sew. So I'll sew all round and leave about 2 inches at the tip to turn out to the right side. So I will sew all round like this to the other side and leave about 2 inches at the tip to turn it to the right side. Okay, as you can see, I am turning to the right side. After turning out, I'll then take it to the ironing board to give it a nice press. So this is what I have after turning out. Yes, so I then give it a nice press. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then locate the center in a straight line. I guess pressing it down to locate the center so that I can pleat along the center. Okay, so this is what I have. The pleating is a bit tricky, but when you follow what I am doing, you'll be able to do it. Okay, I tried it out several times and then got the final one. I'll show all in the video. Okay, so I kept on manipulating until I got it right. So as you can see, I am done with the first step or the first trials. I will then try it out again. Okay, so this is the second trials. I think I'll be sticking to the second one. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and then place it onto the top front. Okay, so I measured like from the tip downwards about 3 inches and then place it onto the front. Afterwards, I placed the facing onto it and then sew along just to finish the neckline and then the armhole. So I'll be sewing half an inch from the armhole to the neckline and then to the other armhole. Okay, afterwards I'll trim the excess off. So this is the back. I'll then go ahead and then place the facing onto the back and then sew along. Afterwards I'll divide the back into 2. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing along. Okay, so this is what I have. Okay, and then this is the front as well. And the collar I made for the neckline. Okay, I realized after cutting out and then sewing, it was a bit bigger than the measurements I took, so I trimmed off the excess and then I got the exact measurements for my neck. So I added my zip extension like 1 inch at both sides. Okay, so it was 18 inches plus 1 inch at both sides, making 20 inches. So I'll place the center of the collar onto the center of the top and then pin down and sew along. Okay, so I made sure it exceeded about half an inch, just half an inch, and then pin down. I'll then sew at the tip. Yes, so I'll sew at the tip like this. Afterwards I will also pin down the back pieces. So this is the back pieces. I then divided it into 2. So this is it. I'm about to place the collar onto the back pieces. Okay, so I made it overlap for about half an inch and then pin down. So I'll be doing the same thing on the other back pieces. Great, so this is what I have after sewing down the pieces. I'll then go ahead and then pin down the zip allowance and sew on the measurements marked. Okay, so for the facing to stick or the facing to be stable in the pieces, I'll then put in hemming stiff and then iron to make it stabilized. That is when I am done knitting the edges. Okay, so I will pin down and then sew along. I'll be sewing the other side as well. Afterwards I'll fix my zip. Then the top is almost ready, but before fixing the zip I will then finish the hem of the top. Before fixing the zip I'll finish the hem of the top, like I'll double fold the hem of the top and then sew along. Afterwards I'll fix the zip. Also hem the tip of the flounce or the tip of the ruffles I created or where I turned out. So as you can see, the hole I'm just showing, that is where I will place the hemming stiff and then iron to stabilize it. Okay, so this is the hem. I'll double fold the hem and then top stitch to the other side. Afterwards I'll fix the zip. Then the top is ready. Okay, so this is the final look after hemming the edge of the flounce and then double folding the edge and stitching and also fixing the zip. Okay, please, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly do so and then press the notification bell to notify you anytime I upload any video. So this is the final look after wearing it or after fitting. Okay, so see you all in our next video. Bye.